Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Paul from the Money Mob. This is the Money Mob Black Business Podcast. I hope you are fine. I hope you are well. We are today being sponsored by Reach Society, Building Connections, the award-winning social enterprise that encourages, motivates, and inspires young people, especially Black boys and young Black men, to realize their potential and make viable transitions into adult life. So, for those of you who are unaware and are used to how we, the Money Mob, is and what we do, Money Mob is a buy Black crowdfunding, crowd purchase movement that uses collective economics to support Black business. So our main claim to fame is the actual Money Mob experience, where we actually visit and target businesses, and usually by referrals. And then when myself or one of the team visits a business, if it passes the criteria, then we muster all our resources, whether it's TV, radio, social media, or word of mouth. And then on a day and time, we mob that business. Each person has to spend no less than £10 per person, and in that way we drive finances direct to that business at that day and time. But not only that, also as important, we actually drive eyes to the business by actually marketing, promoting, and letting people know what they do and exactly what they're all about. That's what really is a fantastic way to make sure that our businesses out there are really target and are vibrant. So we also have a weekly podcast, and we also have also on Colorful Radio, where we have a takeover show with our lovely host Business Mix once a month. And as I said, we do work all over the UK, as well as connecting with partners in Europe, the Caribbean, and in Africa. So please, for you who are watching this particular podcast, and all of them, check us all out. We're on YouTube. Make sure you comment, like, share, but most importantly, make sure you subscribe. So look, I have the pleasure of introducing you and making you aware of our very special gentleman. His name is Dr. Dwain Neal, OBE, chairman of the Reach Society, of which and they are our sponsors. Dwain is literally was awarded a OBE in June 2019 at the Queen's Birthday Honours List, citation for services to the British Caribbean community. And just some of the highlights: in May 2019, he became a trustee of Capital City College Group, the largest full-time college in London. He's a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts. He is so a co-founder, chairman of the British Caribbean Junior Chamber of Commerce. And he was a committee member for Westminster Junior Chamber of Commerce and the WJCC, and this was between 1984 to 1985. He is Independent Assessor Office of the Commissioner of Public Appointments. And I'm telling you, this is a very serious gentleman. Very serious gentleman. So, as I said, Dwain is, or Dr. Dwain Neal is the chair of the Reach Society. Good morning, sir.
Paul, good morning. I was listening to you reading out a number of things I've done over the decades and barely recognized myself. So thank you for that full introduction.
Well, you know what, sir, it's really, I mean, when I read your bio, I read the bio, and literally there were so many things that you've done. I literally had to read some of it. I went to bed, and then had to read it again. I'm telling you, you've had a very, very varied life. You've done a tremendous amount of work, and it's really, really a pleasure to actually have you on our podcast. And I salute you. Thank you for supporting our channel in its endeavors. So first things first, I need to ask you, how are you doing at this time? How is things? How is things during this time? Because look, the reality is unprecedented time. So I'm going to ask you that question first. How are you doing?
Well, it's a brilliant question to ask, because I know from talking with a lot of family and friends, an awful lot of people have been injured and hurt by the virus. And so I'm thankful that in my immediate family, we're all okay. My 4 children are all working from home, living in their own homes. My wife and I are fine, but we do know people who are close to us and further afield who are not having as good a time of it. But, we will continue to social distance until the virus comes under control. That's as much as we can do. And yes, I've had my first jab, and I'm waiting to be called for my second.
All right. Okay. I hear that. So, okay. Please just give us an idea of your journey. I know that, I suppose we're going to have to touch the highlights, because your journey has been very, very, very kind of varied. But just just give us a short walk through your, journey. What was, your inspiration, your early inspirations?
Yeah. My journey in many respects is fairly obvious when I tell you, and it's really about how you use your time. Because starting at the very top, I'm married to my university sweetheart, and we've been together now for almost 40 years. So I've done most of my journey with her as my partner, and that has been a sustaining part of my life. Our 4 children are the product of that. Both of us now are happily retired. She as a senior social worker, and myself as a business professional. But linking that with my volunteering and many of the things you've talked about, the reason I was able to actually pack so many things in is because in the first year I started working with Shell International Chemicals, I also started volunteering. My mother started an education charity while I was at university. And one of the things she said to me is, Dwain, we can help other people because the Lord has been good to us, and we've all done relatively well. And that was all she needed to say to me for me to start volunteering in that education charity. The bottom line around volunteering for me is I've never stopped. And that is why in 2010, when 2 friends and I, Rob Neal and Donald Palmer, decided we were going to do something about inspiring our young people, we chose to found Reach Society. And that's been going now for just over 10 years. And I'm very happy to tell you a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. I mean, you kind of quite leads right into my next question. When was the organization created, and what came out that created the conditions that made the Reach Society?
Yeah, we founded Reach Society in 2010, and the conditions that prompted us to do that was the failure of the DCLG, which is a government department, to sustain a program to inspire young boys and young men, because anyone who looks closely at the attainment of our boys and young men will know that for more than 30 odd years, they have underachieved in the education system, and they have been put at a disadvantage in competing for work. The government has all the statistics on that, and therefore rolled out the Reach National Role Model Program in an attempt to inspire our young boys and our young men. Unfortunately, in good government style, a 3-year program only ran for 18 months because the incoming coalition government basically said it wasn't invented by us, we're not interested. That angered me. That angered my two friends who were actively involved in it. And that anger led to us saying, whose responsibility is it to inspire our children? Is it ours or is it someone else's? We all came to the same view that it was our responsibility. And that's why we bent our minds to coming up with an initiative that we could sustain ourselves in order to inspire our young people. October of 2010, we kicked off Reach Society, and we have been rolling that out ever since. So that's the condition that led us to taking on this task. And to be quite honest, we've had a lot of fun doing it. We've impacted more than 20,000 young people, and we're not only rolling out events in London, we're rolling them out in Wolverhampton, in Leicester. And if the pandemic hadn't intervened, we would have rolled them out last year in Birmingham and Bedfordshire and Southampton. So as soon as conditions are improved, we are hoping to get back to that rollout across the country.
Fantastic. So, I mean, just give us an idea. I mean, what's the actual philosophy of Reach? You know, where did that fit in? What's the philosophy?
I've alluded to that already, and let me just put that into words specifically. Everything about the way I was brought up, everything about the way my two friends were brought up, tells us that we need to take full responsibility for our affairs. You cannot allow things that are important to you in your life, to your family, to be managed by other people, and other people who perhaps don't have your priority. And so in recognizing that we need to take full responsibility for our affairs, that is the philosophy that we have used to drive the development of Reach Society. And we continue to do that. So you won't be surprised to hear me saying that the organization is fully self-funding. It does not use grants in order to resource it. We generate income, and I'm happy to talk about the ways that we do that, and we apply those incomes to growing the organization. And so I'm proud to tell you that after 10 years, Reach Society is fully sustainable. We have no financial anxiety about the organization. But that didn't happen by accident. When we kicked it off in 2010, we said we will put between £2,000 and £3,000 every year into reserve. So 10 years on, we have exceeded that target, and that reserve will keep us going because that is our ongoing policy. Each year, we should put funds into reserve for growing the operation.
Fantastic. I mean, I must admit, I'm going to go slightly off track to come back on track. I love the idea of the fact that that you recognize the fact that, you know, for things to work, you have to put some skin, as they say, in the game. And if you actually don't decide and invest and see the reality of investing in your own endeavors, that is not going to happen by magic.
Correct. That's a really good phrase, some skin in the game, because when I think about myself, when I think about my family, when I think about the community I'm of, we have skin in the game, period. And if we're going to actually do something to help our children and our grandchildren, that's the first level of skin in the game. So by actually coming up with an organization that's going to add value to our children and our grandchildren, we need to think about how we're going to resource it so it becomes sustainable. Exactly. If we don't think about that component, we might do it for 6 months or maybe a year, or if we're lucky, 2 years, and then it collapses. Because when you do something for good on a begging bowl principle, invariably it collapses, because whoever gives you that money will not give you that money forever. And that is my experience of looking at many, many third sector organizations. They wax and wane, typically between a year, 18 months, 2 years, because they collapse when the funder says, no more, we're going to give the money elsewhere. That doesn't happen in Reach Society because we fund ourselves.
Absolutely. Fantastic. I love that. I love that. And I think, and I wholeheartedly endorse that kind of thing. I think it's important. So important. So look, moving on, right? What are the immediate plans for the future? What are we now looking at? Because I know that you have a conference, so please let us know exactly what the conference is going to be about.
Yeah, Paul, thank you for asking that, because within the society, we always have a business plan for each year. And so this year, top of the agenda is the Virtual Careers Conference. And it's a virtual careers conference because we have the virus, which is still a challenge to all of our health. In the past, where we've rolled out the first 18 careers conferences, they've all been face-to-face, and the numbers have steadily grown. This year, it's virtual for the reason I've already said, and the ambition is to roll it out over 4 days. Normally, the careers conference is just 1 day, and in that day, we have 4 key features. This time, because we're having to go virtual, we had to segment the features. So on the first day, the 6th of April, we're going to roll out 10 inspirational workshops. And folks can certainly find out about all of the 4 days by visiting our website, and we can give those details a bit later. On the second day, we're going to have in excess of 75 professional volunteers who will be role models across that whole day. They're going to be in groups of typically 3, and they will cover almost all areas of expertise you can imagine, from engineers through to professors, through to civil servants, through to business owners, through to private sector managers and financiers. We will have the full range covered through those professional volunteers. So young people will be able to talk with them, find out how they've done what they've done, find out what the stepping stones are, and be inspired to choose a pathway for themselves. On the third day, which is the 8th of April, we will have 30 exhibitors, the vast majority of whom will be large employers and some top universities. Also, we will have 1 or 2 third sector groups, and I'm proud to say the Blair Project, who are based in Manchester, will be one of those exhibitors. We will also have an organization from the Midlands called RAFA, and they have been a third sector group we've collaborated with for many years. They will be involved. And so top universities like Durham University, like Glasgow University, like University of Oxford, they too will be there, including the university colleges in London. So in total, we should have 8 or 9 top universities in the mix with those large and medium-sized firms. And on the final day, that day is split in 2 parts. On the 9th of April in the morning, we will have a team of 10 STEM experts. There will be someone who's an expert in biology, in physics, in chemistry, in mathematics, in artificial intelligence, in engineering, in medicine, and the like. And they will be there to talk to all of the young people who want to find out about how you get into those STEM areas, what you need to do when you go on to university, what are the future employment opportunities that come on the back of STEM subjects. In the afternoon, we're going to have a panel of experts, 4 women, 4 men, all of them high achievers, and I would want to call 2 of their names. One is Professor Sir Jeff Palmer. He is probably the most accomplished scientist in our community. Not as many people know his name as they should, but if you think about the brewing industry, his discovery has made hundreds of millions of pounds worth of profit for the United Kingdom for more than 30 years. He's also one of our patrons, so he will be on the panel. And we also have a tremendous tech expert, Adrian Joseph, OBE. He currently is a group managing director for British Telecom, and we're delighted that he will be on that panel. So, you know, those are the 4 days, and we've purposely provided those big hitters and the range of expertise from our community in order to inspire our young people. So my encouragement to every young person aged 13 and above in our community, anywhere in the United Kingdom, register for the event and experience those 4 days. Please, please, please do not leave registration too late, because the day before the event starts, registration will end. There will be no registration on the day of the event. 2 p.m. on the 5th of April is the latest you can register for the end. Thereafter, the tech firm that we're working with will have the database of all the people who've registered, and they will be admitted across the 4 days. All right?
Wow. It sounds an absolutely serious event, and it gives a complete, rounded picture. And yes, you've left no kind of stone unturned in regards to making sure people are going to be guided, you know, in this area and that area, what have you. Will you also be? I'm certain you've also mentioned. Will you also be bringing like self-employed entrepreneurs? Is that going to be a part and parcel of the conference as well?
Absolutely. On the second day, where we have the role model networking, there must be somewhere in the region of 8 to 10 business owners, and they have all taken the plunge to start their own business initiatives in a wide range of areas, and they will be there as well to talk to young people. So yes, indeed, if you're thinking you would like to make your own money using your own creative idea, there will be enough people there to tell you how they have gone about doing that in their particular sector. And, you know, there is something liberating about making your own money, because you will have seen from my bio, although I worked for Shell International Chemicals for 21 years, I also ran my own management consultancy, Lerico and Associates, for 15 years. And once I'd completed that, I retired. Now, it doesn't mean I've stopped working, because I continue to volunteer for Reach Society and the like. But in terms of working for money, it's not something I need to do now. I have a really good pension. I don't have any debts. My children are grown and making their own money. So I can add even more value to our community. And that gives me a tremendous amount of satisfaction.
Absolutely, absolutely. So so we're now coming down to the last kind of question. What's the ultimate aim? What's the big picture aim of Reach Society?
The big picture aim for Reach Society has not changed since we first conceived it in 2010. And in a few words, our vision is to make it easy for all of our young people to make an emotional connection with at least one professional in our community. Because by making that emotional connection, they will be inspired to choose a pathway to success. And by doing that, they can make viable transitions into adult life. And, you know, ultimately, life is about preparing young people so they can stand on their own 2 feet, so they can launch themselves. And we live in a qualification society. So if they don't have enough qualifications, they can't compete for gainful employment. If they don't have enough qualifications, it's going to be difficult for them to run successfully a business, because they won't be literate enough, they won't be numerate enough, they won't be used to working things out because they haven't had the training. So whether you want to be an entrepreneur, or whether you want to be a captain of industry, or you want to be a top civil servant, or you want to be a professor in a university, the foundation to that is having sufficient qualification, a good clutch of GCSEs at good grades, a good clutch of A-levels, go into one of the Russell Group universities, and then launching yourself into gainful employment once you've done that. So our ultimate vision is to help to close that gap so our young people everywhere in the UK can be inspired by the many, many talented people we have in our community.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So, so please let our people know and get your social media, website, and you know, your details. Where can we get a hold of you?
Well, Reach Society has a website, and it's simply www.reachsociety.com. We also have a Twitter page, which is at Reach Society followed by the number 10. So at Reach Society 10. Those are the two platforms that we use all the time. And if you go on our website, you will see references to the Careers Conference. You click on that and follow the information, you'll be able to find out everything you need to know about the Virtual Careers Conference.
Fantastic, fantastic. And for those of you who are watching, with this interview, when it goes out on YouTube or on our social media, you will see a link as an Eventbrite link in regards to the conference registration, the Reach Society's Virtual Careers Conference, and you can click into the link and it'll take you straight there. This sounds like a really, really serious a few days that I don't think you really, really want to miss. Absolutely fantastic. So look, Dr. Dwain, please, I want to ask you the final question, which is the money mob question, and this is it. Dwain, if you were given one wish in regards to the Black community, what would that one wish be?
There are so many things you could wish for our community. But for me, the one wish I would want granted for our community is that every family within our community learns to take full responsibility for their affairs. Because in taking full responsibility for their affairs, all the benefits that they deserve will flow from that. And, you know, the inspiration came from a saying which Robert Kennedy, the 64th Attorney General, United States, is known for. And his saying is, the future is not a gift, it is an achievement. The future is not a gift, it is an achievement. And I believe within the Black community, our future will not be a gift. It will have to be something we achieved. We can achieve it by taking full responsibility for our affairs. So that is my wish, that every family in the Black community understands and lives by that motto. We will take full responsibility for our affairs. The future then would be absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely, absolutely. And with that, I thank you so much, Dr. Dwain Neal, Chairman of the Reach Society. I want to thank all of those who are going to see this. Remember to please share, comment, like, and most importantly, make sure you subscribe and get this particular video out to as many people as possible. Let people know about the conference. It's going to be serious. I'm going to definitely try to make sure I am viewing as many days as I can. And with that, I want to thank you all. And remember, as I close, support Black businesses, support the Money Mob. Remember also to check on our website, moneymob.co.uk, our social medias, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, Money Mob 101. If you are on LinkedIn, it's the Money Mob 101. And if you want to be a part of the membership, to actually help us to help you. We're on Telegram. Just click in the Money Mob and you will be able to go and join our membership group. There is a membership fee. In regards to that, as I said, you know, we have to build, and you can't build, you know, freedom is not free. So with that, again, I thank you again, Dr. Dwain, and remember, brothers and sisters, family, support Black business, support the Money Mob, because it is the future of Black economics.
Thank you, Paul.